like a nigga pasta. Just like a nigga pasta. King Cobra. Get exposed. Fuck niggas get exposed. Niggas get your bankroll up, these nigga hoes. You but never with this shit. Ask me how I know. Any nigga can get this shit. I'm gon' let it blow. All these hoes toe up. Knocking at my door like Jehovah. Waiting for the go like a soldier. Pump it up, the drink get slower. I'm in LA, I drove to Phoenix just to see my man. Say he needs some more. Every time I pull up with them bands, told him don't say nothing else. They can tap your phone very well. What you want, a nigga go to jail? I can send it to you via mail. Wanda whip the bit and make her catch a shell. The Honda whip a slow bitch can catch a snail. He came down here one committed, nothing but this money business. But he wanna keep his head, I wanna take his brother fitted. Baby, I'm close to the edge, don't you push me over. Only having hundreds on me, just like a nigga poster. I can't wait for 30 bitch, better yet poster. I don't know who to trust, they want me out the culture. I don't know who to bust, I'm on slime a voucher. Used to ride the little bus, now I'm King Cobra. Fuck niggas get exposed. Nigga get your bankroll up, these nigga hoes. You but never with this shit, ask me how I know. Any nigga can get this shit, I'm gon' let it blow. All these hoes toe up, knocking at my door like Jehovah. Waiting for the go like a soldier. Pump it up, the drink get slower. Get slower. Get slower. Get slower. Get slower. Cobra, King Cobra, King Cobra.
There's power in the word no. At University of Phoenix, there's no application fee.
What's up, man?
All she wanna do is turn up and get high. Yeah, I put the word up and she mine. I'm fresh when I step in, I'm walking in bed and she seen that. I double my cup when I sip, it's no ass, it's a green flag. I fuck with my playboys, I'm out in LA with a mean bag. She texting my phone, I didn't see it. I'm coming wherever you need me at. Shawty been saying shit on me, but I never seen it yet. I made her say that I love you, but I never mean it yet. I'm gonna get with you, homie, don't care if it's over here, okay? I'm finna speak, I'm feeling don't care, the bitch with the mayor, okay? I hate to get away from niggas, cause niggas were really a hater, okay? Turn a bitch up, now we ain't a batter, okay? 10 fours up and I order a platter, okay? Play my shit, wanna move it faster. Told they had it, I wanna rap, okay?
Welcome to the stream, man. That's Don Juan right here, man. This is YouTube page right here. Go tap in Don Juan 721 Don Juan 5. Without further ado, we on the stream. I think everything is good now. I've been having some issues, man. I've been, one program works, the next program doesn't work, but I think everything is running smooth now. I just checked all platforms and all platforms are running smooth. Oh man, I forgot to check Kick. Well, hopefully Kick is running smooth. The main one I was concerned about was YouTube and X. But yeah. So we are going to get into this video right here first. U.S. Venezuela. The U.S. has sold 500 million worth of oil so far. So we'll react to this video and then get into what I have to say about this.
And the United States has made its first official sale of Venezuelan oil. According to U.S. officials, the deal, which is worth more than $500 million, marks the beginning of U.S. sales under a $2 billion oil agreement with Venezuela. This follows a deal reached earlier this month between Washington and Caracas to export Venezuelan crude to U.S. buyers. Additional sales are expected in the coming weeks as part of a broader $2 billion agreement. Revenue from the initial oil sold, which is $500 million, is being held in bank accounts controlled by the United States government, with the main account situated in Qatar to avoid seizure risks. The White House says that this agreement ensures funds are safely managed while fulfilling the deal's term. Under the agreement, Venezuela's interim government has agreed to export up to 50 million barrels of crude to United States refineries. Potentially, $2.5 billion to nearly $3 billion flow based on the current market prices.
Okay, so 2.5 billion is what they agreed to. It 3 billion at the most. This, like I said previously, is ridiculous. It takes $20 million to run the government a day. They agreed to only 3 billion. It takes 20 billion to run the government. They only are giving us 3 billion. We've only gotten 500 million so far, which covers the Maduro operation in full or only half, because the estimate is between 500 million to 1 billion for the cost of capturing Maduro. And that doesn't account for all the time they put into gathering intelligence on him, all the time put into all of this posturing that was being done with the ships getting sent down to Venezuela a couple weeks or months in advance, and just gas for those the fuel for the ships, gas, fuel for planes, fuel for helicopters, all of that stuff. It's not accounting for everything. The 500 million to $1 billion is just the extraction operation itself. So a lot more than that was spent on capturing this man, probably over the 3 billion they agreed to. So was it worth it? I don't think, number one, I don't think it was worth it just on a level of, potentially having global conflict over this. And I don't think it was worth it financially either. We're not really getting anything for this as of now. They're saying this is going to be life-changing for Venezuelans, and this is going to be good for the American people as well. I don't think $3 billion is going to do any justice to anyone. But I mean, I'm even sure their government might take, who knows how much it costs to run their government, but we can look that up really quick. Okay, so 54.5 million a day to run their government. So, but 19 billion a year. I mean, I don't know if that 3 billion is being promised to us. So I don't see how that benefits the Venezuelan people in any way, but I mean, I guess they said they're gonna go down there and, make the oil infrastructure proper, and they're gonna do whatever they need to do to fix it and revitalize the industry, and it's gonna be beneficial maybe it will be beneficial. Maybe it'll create some jobs or something like that. But I don't know that this, sales of oil is going to benefit anyone besides the people who are running the operation. I mean, governments and oil companies. I'm pretty sure those are the only people that's going to actually benefit from this.
And the move marks a dramatic shift in US-Venezuela energy ties following recent political changes in Caracas. Global trading houses Vital and Trafigura have struck agreement with the US government to help market Venezuelan barrels, stepping into a role that could rapidly revive exports after years of sanctions and stranded crude. Some traders say that Venezuelan Mary 16 crude is being offered to US Gulf Coast refineries at a $6 discount to Brent futures, while Canadian heavy oil West Canadian Select trades at a roughly $12.50 discount. That pricing edge could make Venezuelan barrels more attractive to US refineries. A full resumption of Venezuelan exporters to the United States could bolster supplies for Gulf Coast refineries while placing competitive pressure on Canadian producers who rely on heavy crude exports. Now, this will also underscore how global oil flows could be reshaped by United States policy in Venezuela.
Okay, yeah, so like I was saying, I don't think that this is really gonna benefit too many people. I just saw this on Instagram. Here they go again. First it was Pokemon. Now they're using Chief Keef to promote government videos.
Foolishly challenge. Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, FAFO.
Bro, they have the Chief Keef Love Sosa instrumental playing in the background. This is crazy. And what is FAFO? Cause so fuck around and find out. That's what it means. Probably. It says find around and find out. Like what? It obviously means fuck around and find out. Foreign Advisory Federal Offense Act. Yeah, it's probably just fuck around and find out. Yeah, because somebody left this in one of my a comment on one of my videos the other day, and I was just confused. Like, I guess I'm reaching unk status. I'm just sitting there like FAFO. What? What are they talking about here? FAFO. All right. I really should have these things on the queue on the computer, but they're all on my phone. All right. So this one, the U.S. Navy.
Check this out.
Has came out with some type of futuristic $8 billion stealth destroyer. This video says in action. Surface warfare and naval gunfire support using advanced technologies. What are those? Not going to disclose what advanced technologies. Oh, this is just the design. Integrated power system supplying electricity for propulsion and weapons. What weapons? The weapons need electricity. Bro, this is a 20-minute video with no sound. Like, what? Wow, they shot off a rocket. Like, bro, what is this? Bro, I hate videos like this. Like, what are you doing? 5 billion. Oh, of course, Facebook again.
Unbelievable. It barely looks like a ship. It's like something out of a movie.
Okay, bro. Whatever. Thought there would be something better about this. Oh yeah, let's get into AI Telly. Subscribe on this channel. Yeah, let's look at this right here because I keep hearing about this secret weapon used in Venezuela. Reports from certain guards that were guarding Maduro. Who knows how accurate this is, though? I mean, it could be accurate, but I don't know.
Did the U.S. military deploy a secret sonic weapon during the raid in Venezuela? According to witnesses on the ground, the operation began with an unexplained radar blackout, followed massive drone swarm and the sounds of helicopters. Despite being outnumbered 5-1, the small U.S. Special Forces team faced less resistance. Why? Reports indicate soldiers suffered from vertigo, vomiting, and internal bleeding. Military analysts believe this was a soft kill operation, likely utilizing a high-power microwave device. More detail all in the video ahead. Based on witness testimony, here's how the event likely occurred. Venezuelan soldiers were on standard guard duty when their radar system suddenly shut down with...
Bro, I thought that was a fire alarm. I was about to be so annoyed. Like, why is there a fire alarm sound in this video?
That warning. Immediately after the blackout, a massive drone swarm appeared over the facility, followed by 8 helicopters equipped with unidentified technology. A 20-man team of Delta and Special Forces operatives deployed from the helicopters. The encounter took a mysterious turn when the defending force of 100 soldiers reportedly froze, leaving them unable to compete with a smaller elite team. Witnesses noted that the Delta Force operatives fired with impossible precision, estimating a rate of fire near 300 rounds per minute per soldier. It is theorized that Black Hawk helicopters were used to deploy this capability, utilizing disc-shaped radar attachments to launch a directed beam at the opposing troops.
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this,
They reported internal trauma. They suffered immediate vestibular incapacitation, meaning a total loss of balance and paralysis. Some even reported bleeding from the nose and vomiting blood, symptoms consistent with internal hemorrhaging. While the Pentagon hasn't officially disclosed the specific hardware, military experts often call this a soft kill system. So how does it actually work? To understand the weapon, you first have to look at what it did. The most likely candidate for a weapon that creates that kind of internal pressure without external sound is a high-power microwave device. It relies on something called the Frey effect. The weapon, probably carried by a Chinook or a Black Hawk helicopter, fires a focused beam of pulsed microwave energy, not sound waves, that passes right through the skull. These beams are absorbed by the water in the brain tissue and the fluid in the inner ear. This energy causes a minuscule rapid heating of the tissue, less than 1 degree Celsius. But that tiny sudden expansion generates a pressure wave inside the skull. The consequence? The target hears a sound, clicks, buzzing, or a roar that originates inside their own head, bypassing the eardrums entirely. If the frequency is tuned to the resonance of the inner ear, it violently disrupts the body's balance, causing immediate...
This would have to be like the most scariest thing that they've ever experienced in life. Like, they were probably shitting themselves, like, what the fuck is happening to me, bro? Like, that is probably the scariest thing they have ever encountered, if it's even true.
Immediate vertigo. At higher power levels, that rapid tissue expansion can rupture capillaries, leading to the reported nosebleeds and internal trauma. There is another possibility, a weaponized infrasonic pulse emitter. Instead of a continuous beam, this device would fire high-intensity slugs of low-frequency air pressure, below 20 Hz. These waves travel through the body and match the resonant frequency of internal organs like the stomach or lungs. High-intensity infrasound can actually cause cavitation, the formation of bubbles in bodily fluids. When those bubbles collapse, they create tiny shock waves that damage tissue. The target feels an intense vibration in their gut, leading to severe nausea and effectively paralyzing them with pain and sickness. Tactically, the reports suggest U.S. forces use this technology as the ultimate force multiplier. The result was that the hundreds of Venezuelan guards mentioned in the reports weren't fought in a traditional gun battle. They were incapacitated, sick, dizzy, and bleeding, long before U.S. troops made contact. This allowed a small team of approximately 20 operators to walk virtually unopposed through a much larger force. But that's not it. The U.S. military has another secret weapon. Analysts called it the Iron Dome of the Caribbean. They said the airspace over Venezuela was impenetrable, locked down by the Russian-made S-300 anti-system, a beast capable of swatting aircraft out of the sky from 150 miles away.
So, like, is this secret rumored technology, is this what Trump meant when he's like, yeah, we have stuff that nobody else has and blah, blah, blah? Because it's like, if we have stuff that nobody else has, like what happened in Afghanistan, Iraq, anywhere else we've been where we haven't really had success. It's been honestly complete failures.
But in the Dark Knight, the myth of invincibility didn't just crack, it evaporated. The opening salvo didn't come from pilots, but from physics. The U.S. Gerald R. Ford, stationed off the coast, unleashed a barrage of electronic warfare so dense it didn't just jam the Venezuelan radar screens, it burned them white. The S-300 operators at Captain Manuel Rios Air Base were blind before they ever saw the missiles coming. The first kinetic strikes were surgical from a destroyer. 2 Tomahawk cruise missiles slammed into the S-300VM radar arrays. In an instant, the eyes of the Venezuelan defense network were turned into twisted, red-hot scrap metal. Precision-guided bombs walked down the flight line. One by one, the Su-30s and the aging X-16s parked beside them were engulfed in fireballs. 7 jets were erased before their pilots could even reach the ladders. It wasn't a dogfight, it was an execution. But the final blow was psychological. At 4:20, the roar of jet engines shook the windows of downtown Caracas. The target was Fort Tuna, the headquarters of the Ministry of Defense and the nerve center of the regime's military command. The strikes didn't level the city, they decapitated the leadership's ability to communicate. As smoke billowed from the ministry buildings, the message was clear to every commander on the ground: you are alone. You are alone and that no help is coming. But all of this is just a deception. The main target is none other than the president. We finally have the declassified timeline of how U.S. forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolás Maduro. Let's start with step 1. The setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the U.S. had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela. The U.S. Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and the U.S. Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked off the coast. The pretext was clear. The U.S. designated the Venezuelan government a narco-terrorist state, specifically targeting the drugs lords, but while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable. Step 2. The strike. It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing their anti-air defenses. Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic high-value target. With the skies cleared, the path opens for Delta Force helicopters to fly straight towards the mission. Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna, the main military base and command center, and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground describe widespread explosions and a sudden communications blackout. The chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen? We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work. But what is the exact unit tasked with the mission? It is the Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the...
I mean, there's video of this. We showed video of this in the previous video. There's like 5, 6, maybe 7 of these helicopters or whatever you would call it. What did he just say?
Secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan Presidential Guard was swift but ultimately futile. As the helicopters lay cover fire, the operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of attack helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta Special Forces descended and started the search for the high-value targets. How did they find him? Simple. The CIA had planted spy inside Nicolás Maduro close circle. While back in the US, Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid until they could do it blindfolded. While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock.
Yeah, so they've been basically practicing this for a while. They know every single inch of this building and they've been training nonstop to get this execution perfect.
Lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force breached the compound. Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, were physically secured. This wasn't a negotiation. They were detained and immediately...
That didn't really make sense because it said like he just kicked open the door and they're saying it's on like one of these floors, but the rumor was that they were in a bunker and they were about to close the door of the bunker and then Delta Force got there. But I believe Trump said that, but I don't know.
Moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. We make original 4K 3D animation with a small team of...
And yeah, what was the other video? Yeah, I was gonna go look at this, but I mean, they basically just showed how they captured Maduro in that video. So yeah, we could move on. What is it? Okay, 7 Chinese U.S. nationals. Oh, come on, bro. Oh, I guess this guy just got sentenced. Yeah, man, I hate when stuff like this pops up on my feed, bro, because I just see the headline, click on it, or save it for later. And this case is from 2024, or this happened between 2023 and 2024. And they're just writing about it now. Like, what is wrong with these news sources? They're always recycling old stuff. Yeah, it's from December 2024, so that's probably like this right here. But it said California, that one says Texas. But it is a group of people. But yeah, since I brought it up, it's 7 people who are Chinese, but they're US nationals. Got about 170 firearms, several thousand rounds of ammo, and tried to send them to North Korea in the mail. Like, what are you thinking, bro? What are you thinking? That you're just gonna send ammo to North Korea and guns? Like, what? Oops. Hit too many keys. Great Wall of Serbia. Okay, I don't like TikTok videos, bro. Are they serious? Is a bunch of TikTok videos? Like, what the fuck is this, bro? All right, let's see this one.
This is in Siberia. This megalithic wall is absolute.
Oh, okay. It is Siberia, not Serbia.
You want to file free? Hit it.
A wall 80 times higher than the Great Wall of China was discovered in Siberia. Blocks that weigh 3,000 tons were assembled perfectly into a wall that is over 3,900 feet high. And while geologists say it's natural, there's a big rectangular shape that was cut out from the wall that made the side of the wall look like an entrance big enough for a 10-foot being to casually walk through it. All these and more leave us with questions that science can't fully explain. Who built this wall? And how did they perfectly move 3,000-ton blocks hundreds of feet up in the air? These are just some of the questions left behind by the puzzling megaliths of Gornaya Shoria. And in this video, we will uncover the answers that'll make you rethink our origin as humans. For almost half a century, there were murmurs about a city of giants hidden somewhere in Russia. More specifically, it was rumored to be in Siberia, where plenty of...
Okay, he dropped the information on it. Now he's going conspiracy theory, so we are not going to engage in that. Let's see about this. Israeli and Arab leaders ask you to hold off Bro, like, why is this information about the Middle East always on Indian news sources? Like, they don't report any of this shit in America or anywhere else in the West, and it's only on Indian news sources. I do not want to listen to the Indian news. And it looks like we have to.
Burns in its biggest protests in years, a hidden diplomatic channel has emerged, revealing how close the region may be to war. Days before nationwide protests erupted across Iran in late December, Israeli officials quietly sent a message to Tehran through Russia. According to diplomats and regional officials, Israel assured Iran it would not launch strikes if it were not attacked first. Iran responded through the same Russian channel, agreeing it would also refrain from a preemptive attack. The exchange was extraordinary given the deep hostility between the two rivals, who fought a 12-day war just months earlier. The back-channel communication highlighted Israel's effort to avoid being blamed for escalating tensions with Iran. At the time, Israel was preparing for a major military campaign against Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militia in Lebanon. Privately,
bro, they have been striking Lebanon since before the ceasefire they agreed to in 2024. Like, this, like, what do you mean they were preparing? They are always preparing to hit Hezbollah and Hezbollah targets.
while it focused its firepower northward. Publicly, however, Israeli officials were striking a far more aggressive tone, openly hinting at renewed strikes on Iran. Those threats centered on Iran's rapidly replenishing ballistic missile stockpile. The contrast between public rhetoric and private reassurance underscores the fragile balance both sides were trying to maintain. Iranian officials responded positively, but remained deeply suspicious of Israel's intentions. According to officials familiar with the exchange, Tehran feared...
Okay, so basically they were in talks when the protests first broke out. Let's see what warning they issued yesterday. This might be the warning they already issued days ago, though. Oh, man.
Trump prepares to pull the trigger. The world is holding its breath as Donald Trump prepares to pull the trigger on a high-stakes military incursion in Iran. Now, Tehran has warned neighboring countries hosting U.S. troops that it would retaliate against American bases if Washington carries out threats to intervene in protests in Iran. Arab leaders and Israel are cautioning Washington against any military intervention at the moment. Here's a report.
President Donald Trump is weighing whether to unleash U.S. military might on Iran in response to a brutal crackdown on nationwide protests. Top advisors have been summoned to map strike options, from cyber attacks to targeted military strikes, as Washington grapples with how and where to act and why. Trump has repeatedly warned Tehran, vowing very strong action if the killing of protesters continues. The president, who just weeks ago authorized bold action in Venezuela, now faces arguably the toughest decision of his tenure. Confront a deeply entrenched regime or hold back to avoid full-scale conflict.
I'm confused as to why Israel would be telling us to hold back, though. I mean, it could only be because they have something they want to do or prepare for themselves. I mean, that is literally the only thing that it could be. They don't want peace with Iran, or maybe they just don't want to get, well, yeah, like I was saying, they're waiting for something. Maybe they're waiting to stockpile more, defensive weapons or something, but they're not just saying this because they like them or they want peace with them or anything. Oh,
you're going to see some things that I don't know. Heard about the hanging? If they hang him, you're going to see some things that I don't know what where you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll perhaps be very happy.
This is what I don't like. Why is he saying we're going to invade a foreign nation for having public executions when we have private executions in America? Like, we both execute people. Does it just make it right and so just and moral that we do it privately? Because you both kill people for committing crimes. It's called a death penalty. We have the death penalty in many states, and there is the death penalty on the federal level. So, I mean, I have no idea why he thinks this is a justified reason to bomb or invade or enact some type of regime change in another country. That is ridiculous. And then they're not the only country executing people. Like, what? It's not just us, it's not just them, but there's plenty of countries that have executions. Plenty of countries that we are allies with have executions. Maybe they're not public, but does it really matter? And I'm gonna go look something up on my phone really quick to see if we're allies with some people that do public executions.
we will take very strong.
What do you mean by that?
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
Experts caution that Iran is no Venezuela. Iran commands a powerful military machine, entrenched ballistic missile systems, hardened Revolutionary Guard units, and an arsenal that has survived years of sanctions and covert strikes. Any attack on Iranian soil would almost certainly trigger immediate retaliation against U.S. forces and its regional partners.
Iran also still has an enormous missile program, so it could retaliate and has threatened to retaliate against U.S. assets in the region as well as against Israel. So this is not going to be a slam dunk. This is a country with 92 million people with military capabilities, but they can't control their skies. What happened in the 12-day war was Israel and then the United States were able to bomb with impunity inside of Iran.
Okay, so I just did some research, which is what I thought. Saudi Arabia does public executions. That is one of our allies. That is one of our biggest strategic partners in the Middle East. So why do we not have anything to say about them doing public executions? And from what I just read, it says they do their public executions by beheading from a sword, which sounds a lot more inhumane than hanging someone, which pretty sure we did that here not too long ago, but beheading is sounding a little medieval, you know, sounding like that's really old school. And then also one of our other strategic partners in Asia, Vietnam, also does public executions. So we have two allies that do public executions right now to this day, and I've never heard anything about it ever. Never heard a complaint from anyone in government, especially not Donald Trump, who I don't think he would say anything bad about the Saudis at all ever, because I'm pretty sure, well, he may not be business partners with the Saudis, but he has relatives who are business partners with the Saudis. I mean, he might be in business with them, and I'm sure he has big plans for after this last term he has to do things in the Middle East, like how they want to turn Gaza into a tech city, a tech bro city. I'm pretty sure he want a Trump hotel in his mind would fit very nicely on the Gaza Strip in some waterfront property.
Inside the Trump administration, the debate is raw. Some advisors argue that unlimited air or cyber strikes could disrupt Iran's military infrastructure and signal U.S. resolve. Others warn that without overwhelming force and clear objectives, such actions could spiral into a broader, long-lasting war. Israeli and Arab officials have privately pushed U.S. to hold off on Iran strikes.
We know that any escalation of the sort that you described would have catastrophic results in the region and beyond, and therefore we want to avoid that as much as possible. The talks continue, our calls continue.
Tehran, for its part, has answered the rhetoric with defiance. Iranian officials say they are ready for war, but open to dialogue. A dual message that underscores the danger of miscalculation. Whatever path Trump chooses, the world is watching and waiting. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Okay, so Iran is not backing down. Already knew that. If you watched any of my previous videos on the topic, let's see if there is another video on this. Okay, find something on YouTube. is this recent? 11 hours ago, we pulled back from Qatar. Like what?
Al Udeid base.
See what the process is.
Does this mean military action is now off the table against Iran?
We're going to watch and see what the process is.
As U.S. troops pull back, Iran is firing a warning shot by publicly recalling its missile strike on America's Al Udeid base in Qatar. Top Khamenei aide Admiral Ali Shamkhani cited the June 2025 strike on Al Udeid as proof of Iran's retaliatory power and reach against U.S. forces. Shamkhani said Trump should remember the plowing of Al Udeid by Iranian missiles, urging Washington to factor it into any future plans. Shamkhani added that this would create a realistic understanding of Iran's determination and capability to respond to any aggression from the United States. Senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader said, and I quote, "The President of the United States, who repeatedly brings up the futile attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, would do well to also mention the plowing of the American Al Udeid base by Iranian missiles. It would certainly help create a realistic understanding of Iran's determination and capability to respond to any aggression." Unquote. Remember, Al Udeid is America's largest base in West Asia and serves as a key headquarters for U.S. Central Command operations. Iran hit the base last June after U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear sites.
They did not hit the base. They called Trump and said, hey, we're going to send some missiles over there as a show of force because we can't just do nothing. And Trump said, oh, okay, thanks for the call. And he shot down all the missiles,
framing it as direct retaliation. The new warning came amid reports that the U.S. is now pulling some of its troops and staff Al Udeid base. A U.S. official told Reuters that some personnel were withdrawn from Al Udeid as a precaution given current tensions. Qatar confirmed the drawdowns from the base were due to current regional tensions, rather than a permanent closure. 3 diplomats said some staff were told to leave, though they stressed that no mass evacuation had been observed so far. Britain also began withdrawing some personnel from a Qatar airbase, according to multiple media reports. On January 14th, Trump said he was in wait-and-see mode on Iran and claimed that killings in the country were subsiding.
We have been informed by very important sources on the other side, and they've said the killing has stopped and the executions won't take place. There was supposed to be a lot of executions today, and that the executions won't take place. And we're going to find out. I mean, I'll find out after this. You'll find out. But we've been told on good authority, and I hope it's true. Who knows, right? Who knows? Crazy world.
So how do you...
The people they were likely going to execute is people who orchestrated these riots, not protests, they're riots. This is riot behavior. It's absurd that he won't say that, but we had people protesting on a way less significant scale than this, and he called them riots because they were doing things that were considered riot behavior. I mean, they are having riots over there, so they are probably going to hang people that orchestrated those riots, which includes Mossad assets who are foreign nationals or they're treasonous traitors to their home country, and they're working with an adversary. So, I mean, that's a death penalty offense in America. Like, I don't get it. Like, they just, act like this isn't a thing here. Like if I collaborated with a foreign nation to have protests and try and uprise against the government, that is a death penalty offense. I can get federally charged with treason and they can execute me. That is a fact. It won't be public, but I can still get executed for it. There's no difference. I don't know why they try and act like we're so different from Iran. We're not really that different at all.
No, you've seen that over the last few days, and they said people were shooting at them with guns and they were shooting back, and it's one of those things, but they told me.
Great, and I thought they weren't going to play this part of this press conference. I watched this yesterday. What did he just say? Oh, people were shooting at them, so they shot back. So what are you talking about if you kill any more people? If more people shoot at them, shoot at law enforcement or the military is going to kill them. Just like in America, if I go shoot at law enforcement or the military, they're going to shoot back at me, and they are trained individuals who are probably a better shot than me. The likelihood of them getting me before I get them is high.
That there'll be no executions, and so I hope that's true.
Does this mean military action is now off the table against Iran?
We're going to watch and see what the process is, but we were given a very good statement by people that are aware of what's going on.
Interestingly, just a day earlier in a social media post, Trump had urged Iranians to keep protesting and declared that help is on its way. In response to his rhetoric, Iran warned that all U.S. bases in the region would be targeted if Washington launches any attack. Amid rising tensions, direct talks between Iran's foreign minister and Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff have also been suspended.
Why pay over $2,000 to create an ebook when this $27 AI does it all? Designer writes design.
Officials in Tehran admit that Iran is facing its most violent turmoil since the 1979 revolution, according to Reuters. Rights monitors count thousands dead and over 18,000 detained, dwarfing the scale of past protest crackdowns in the country. Yet a Western official told Reuters that the regime looks badly bruised, but still far from outright collapse.
Bro, and I have heard like 5 different numbers of the casualties. Like, it's insane. There's all these different numbers. Like, where are these people getting this information from? That it's like every time I hear someone bring it up, it's a different number. Why? I don't know. And it's like, it's not like, oh, the number's increasing over the days. Like, no, these are drastically different numbers I'm hearing every single time. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm pretty sure like all of these people's information is incorrect.
Tehran has blamed the US and Israel for stirring unrest, labeling protesters as armed terrorists in official statements. Iranian state television showed funerals draped with flags and images of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to project support.
If we were protesting in America and firing at law enforcement or military officials, like if it was the National Guard or the police and people were firing at them, yeah, you would be considered a domestic terrorist here as well. So I don't know who thinks you wouldn't be, but that's what that would be categorized as.
President Masoud Pezeshkian said that with public backing, all enemies' efforts will come to nothing, insisting the state remains in control. Iran also held emergency talks with Qatar, the UAE, and Turkey, later declaring that calm has prevailed and the situation is stabilizing.
Work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're done with this video. Long ass ad. Alright, so now that we heard that, I just saw this earlier. The USS Abraham Lincoln has been deployed to the Middle East. So this is on its way to the Middle East, and our troops have been pulled out of Qatar. So let's see what this is about.
We're now learning that the Pentagon has reportedly ordered the USS...
Oh my God, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, hey there, Connell. So I was able to ask White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about that in the White House briefing a short time ago, and she did reiterate that they have seen the killing stop, the executions cancel, and they are continuing to keep a close eye on it. I wanted to play a bit of what she had to tell me because we were trying to ask her about whether or not the president was planning some sort of military action last night when we were talking about all of these developments and the change in his tone from Tuesday to Wednesday, and then we were getting reporting from sources in the region that it was the Arab states, it was the Saudis, the Qataris that were saying that they were able to talk to Trump and convince him to hold off on a strike, saying he should give Iran a chance here to quell these protests. But then there's other reporting out there that U.S. officials were saying that the president wouldn't be able to take down the entire...
I really just didn't have the screen open the whole time. So, I mean, I guess you guys get to just look at me and listen to what was going on for the past 10 or 20 minutes. I mean, the information is there. You're gonna hear what they said. That's my bad. New to streaming. Forgot to switch the scene back. Just thought about it. I was like, did I switch the scene back on OBS or not? And I didn't. So there's gonna be a big chunk of this of just me on the screen with no video of anything else. Great.
Regime, and it could lead to a wider conflict if he were to strike. So we asked Caroline Leavitt for an update on all of that, and this is what she had to tell us.
Look, Kelly, I know there's been a lot of speculation in the media about what the president is going to do at any given moment or any given night. And I would say a lot of these stories, to be honest with you, I've been reading them, and they've been based on anonymous sources who are pretending or guessing to know the president's thinking. The truth is, only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that. And as I just told you, he continues to closely monitor the situation on the ground in Iran.
But we do know that that execution that was set to happen on Wednesday, that was not happening. They said that the Efron Soltani, the 26-year-old, has not been sentenced to death per state media, but he is still under arrest. So certainly keeping a close eye on that, as we are hearing from more Iranian Americans that they believe the killing has not stopped, as we continue to see what reports come out of Tehran. Connell.
There's one other really important point, I think, Kelly, on all of this. We were so focused on that change in tone, as you referenced, from the president yesterday. It was right around this time he came out with those comments in the Oval Office, which we had live, and we spent the whole show talking about it. Then right at the end of our show, you reported something that was important, and was the fact that you were hearing about an aircraft carrier moving to the region, which would lead you to believe maybe there's still more options on the table. So what more are we learning about that today?
And that was notable about the timing, because I was talking with some officials from the Department of War, and it didn't seem as though the strikes were imminent, as some people were wondering last night. And they pointed to the fact that they are moving a carrier from the South China Sea to the Middle East, and something like that would take about a week or so to complete. So
hey man, if you've been listening to anybody who's actually knowledgeable on this topic, you would have known from after the 12-day war ended, everyone was saying December, January, maybe February, the war is going to start back up again. So it's just so coincidental that there is some type of issue that would make us get involved now, and there's going to be some type of war or conflict now in January. I mean, I predict by the end of this month, the beginning of next month, whenever Israel's ready, we're both gonna go to war with Iran. And that's just what I think is gonna happen. That's what it seems like is gonna happen. Like, all of these reasons Trump is giving to invade them are things that we do here in America, and a bunch of our allies do the same thing. Like, okay, maybe we don't publicly execute people, but we still execute people. So this is crazy.
Perhaps keeping the options open. And remember, he moved a lot of military hardware to the Caribbean right before making any kind of move in Venezuela. So a lot of the hardware remains in the Caribbean, but they are trying to move some back to the Middle East, so they have options to kind of decide from whether or not they are going to make a move. So it's something to keep a close eye on as we head into the weekend and into next week. Connell.
All right, Kelly. Kelly Myers live for us at the White House once again today. Now, thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our news.
Let's see what this is.
Scribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life. Raise your hand if you've told your boss how to do the same thing more than once.
The fundamental problem in Cuba is that it's run by incompetent people that don't know what an economy looks like, much less a functioning one. They've made a choice, and that is they would rather have political control over their people than they would to have an economy that functions. And they've gotten away with it for 60-something years because they've had donors, the Soviet Union.
Okay, yeah, this is from... it's probably from, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like that's this 6 days ago. Clickbait title. Oh, man. Yeah, that was definitely a clickbait title right there. I mean, yeah, this is Stanley Cup. Briefs members of the media. Yeah, so I think that was from this, which I didn't watch. But I might have to go pull that up and watch it tomorrow. And then see if we could skip around on stream tomorrow and see what's going on with what he was just talking about with Cuba. Because that didn't sound right to me. Okay, it's supposed to be phase 2. What is, like, bro, I feel like the past, like, couple of weeks, I've just been randomly seeing Abu Ubaidah everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure he was killed months and months ago at this point. I don't know why he's being posted so much. Maybe they didn't actually get him and then he was caught again, but let's see real quick, because yeah, like, he was killed in August and everybody has been posting this man in like January and December. Like, what is going on? Like, I understand they killed the man's entire family, which is grimy as fuck, but like, this was news in August. People reported that in August. Why is it like such a big thing again? Okay, yeah, they're launching phase 2 of the Gaza peace plan, even though Israel is still killing Palestinians in the Gaza Strip.
So, as promised, let's return to that breaking news. President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, has announced the launch of phase 2 of the plan to end the conflict in Gaza. Let's go straight to our correspondent in Jerusalem, John Donaldson. And John, tell us more.
Well, we've been waiting for this, Matthew. Phase 1, of course, was the release of the remaining hostages, dead and alive, in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. That was some 3 months ago that we had the ceasefire come into force. Phase 2 is meant to involve the establishment of a technocratic government in Gaza, and we've had the names of the individuals who will form that government. They are members of Palestinian society from within Gaza. It's then, and this is where I think we might have some problems, meant to involve the full demilitarization of Gaza, and that includes Hamas disarming, something they have so far not shown willing to do, and also it's meant to involve the withdrawal of Israeli troops, something Israel...
Right, but they... Wait, what? I don't believe what he just said is accurate, because they've been saying, even after they signed the deal, that they will disarm, but they are going to give their arms to whatever type of government is going to be put in place. So you're going to try and establish this technocratic government. Whoever those people are, whoever those Palestinian people are, those are who is going to acquire the arms of Hamas. So I'm not sure what he's saying there, but I don't believe they're just going to give up they're just going to give up their arms. They want to give them to someone else who's going to be able to defend the land, because they're not just going to be just all sitting ducks now and then the Israelis just pick them off and no one is there to defend anyone.
Has not really said it's committed to either. It might pull back, but it's certainly not willing to give up territory which it has fully captured within Gaza.
And there was a clear warning midway through that statement from Steve Witkoff, where he says the US expects Hamas to comply fully with its obligations, not just the return of that final deceased hostage, but also the demilitarization, the disarmament of that group. And that is a huge hurdle, isn't it?
It is, because they've said they're not willing to do that. They have said they are willing to not take part in this technocratic government, but they haven't said they're willing to disarm, and what Israel and the United States might do to pressure them to do so is not really clear. I should say we have had some sort of ceasefire in place for the last 3 months, but it's pretty fragile, and many would say it's not a ceasefire at all. More than 430 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes.
Yeah, like it's not a ceasefire, bro. Like, what if Israel is still doing airstrikes and Palestinians are still dying? Then it's not a ceasefire. And then they have the audacity to say, oh, we got into this skirmish with these Palestinians and they violated the ceasefire. Like, what? You're violating the ceasefire every single day. You drop bombs on their heads.
In the last 3 months, occasionally Hamas will fire back, and all the while, I should stress, the humanitarian situation in Gaza is utterly bleak. We've had terrible weather here in the Middle East over the last week or so. Really, really heavy rain. It's cold. We've seen awful pictures from Gaza where you've got hundreds of thousands of people living in tents. Those tents are blowing away in heavy winds. There's flooding. It's pretty grim. So progress cannot come soon enough, certainly for the people of Gaza, but I would issue a word of caution because a lot of what Steve Witkoff had to say today was not all that clear.
You mentioned what has happened since the ceasefire. Is there anything that you're hearing, because I can't read it here, about how any sort of humanitarian effort is boosted? And also, what about the International Stabilization Force that we've been hearing about? No mention of that either.
No mention of that, and possibly the reason why is, well, who's going to make up that force? If it's not Hamas, who have been the only real authority within Gaza, controlling the Gaza Strip, then who is going to provide policing and security? Now, over the past, year.
Well, they're not the only authority. There's other armed groups within the Gaza Strip. It's just that everyone, all the people look at them as traitors to their people because they help Israelis kill their own people. And they're responsible for the death of Palestinians as well. So they're just armed gangs that are doing whatever they want to do for some money or for a chance to have power or whatever the case is. But there's literally armed groups within Gaza that instigate stuff and kill their own people all the time, and they're funded and backed by the Israelis. They get weapons from them, they get airstrikes from them. They will get in a battle with Hamas members and then calling in an airstrike like they're in the US military or something. Like, oh yeah, they're over here, we need help, we need air support. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, more than a year. We've had talk of, will it be Arab countries? Will it be?
Oh, yeah, and that's just to say that, I mean, there is other powers there, but nobody's gonna want them to be in power, not the people. It would be a very sticky situation if that happened.
Egypt? Would it be Turkey? Would it be some of the Gulf states sending in forces for a stabilization force? But, you know, anyone going in to do so on the back of Israeli tanks, if you like, is going to be seen as having cooperated too much with the Israelis. The other thing I should mention is, you know, there are 3 levels of governance being proposed for Gaza. This is technocratic government that we've had the details of today. But then above that, there's this executive committee, which will be made up of foreigners, not Palestinians. They will oversee the work of the government. Now, some of the names mentioned for that: Tony Blair. I think also then above that, you've got Donald Trump's Board of Peace, of which he will be chairman of the board. Then there's talk that Keir Starmer could be part of that board, also the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. But many Palestinians will see that as a form of colonialism. You know, they want to run their own affairs. But the truth is, I suppose, you know, certainly Hamas and many Palestinians in Gaza, they don't have a choice. They've got to do it Donald Trump's way. But as I say, a lot remains pretty unclear.
John Donaldson live there in Jerusalem. Thanks for that.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all.
They don't have to do it Trump's way. They have to do it the peace deal's way. Whatever is on that paper and nothing else.
Launch of the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff shared the news in a social media post, writing that Phase 2 establishes a transitional technocratic Palestinian administration in Gaza, the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza. He also wrote that it begins the full demilitarization and reconstruction of Gaza, primarily the disarmament of all unauthorized personnel. Witkoff says the US expects Hamas to comply.
Does that mean the disarmament of the militia groups and gangs that the Israelis fund and give weapons to? I hope so, because that's what they were doing when the U.S. said, oh, they're in the streets killing people and doing this and doing that. They were killing people who were in armed militias that were collaborating with the Israeli government to kill their own people. They were physically hunting them down, disarming them, and executing them. And if you are going to give them back the power for the time being, I mean, they can do as they please, I suppose. I mean, if they are the government that you're recognizing to be in power for the time being, they have that authority. I mean, you can't just get mad and say, oh, you're threatening the deal when you feel like it. I mean, these aren't just innocent civilians, even though you want to say that in the public sphere in the West, but you dig a little deeper, you go watch videos of what actually happened. These are all military-aged men, and they're all armed, or they're all in strongholds that are militias and gangs. The same militias and gangs who, by the way, also were stealing a bunch of the food that they tried to say Hamas is stealing food. No, these Israeli-backed militias are stealing a bunch of food. And even with food being stolen, it still wasn't enough food being taken to do any significant damage of starving someone or whatever we saw in videos. That happened because there was a shortage of food to begin with.
Fully with its obligations, including the immediate return of the final deceased hostage, and warns that the failure to do so will bring serious consequences. Paddy Culhane has been following developments from Washington.
By announcing on social media that the U.S. was entering into phase 2 when it comes to their 20-point plan in the Gaza-Israel ceasefire, really didn't put much information out there and didn't really talk about Israel. The focus was on Hamas disarming, saying that there would be severe consequences if the group does not do that. It did go on to say that the phase 1 has led to historic humanitarian aid being brought in, and it has maintained the ceasefire, and talked about what's happened with the captives. That said, Israel has not maintained the ceasefire. In fact, there are believed to be 1,193 violations since the ceasefire from Israel into Gaza, including the deaths of 442 Palestinians and injuring 1,240. And there are big questions about how much aid is in fact getting in, with international groups, the UN, complaining that Israel is still not allowing nearly enough supplies into the Strip. So the bottom line here, there isn't information about the
why is nothing being said about this? Like, no one in our government is saying anything about these things. They're not pressuring Israel to do anything. They're not getting hit with sanctions. They're not getting reprimanded. Like, Trump said something to them in the beginning of the deal, possibly, if I remember correct. And then it was nothing after that. And he's still not saying anything now. Why is no one speaking up about this? No one is saying anything. Excuse me. This is something that should lead to them getting hit with sanctions. I would think it would. I mean, you agreed to a ceasefire and you're not ceasing to fire. You're still engaged in bombing these people almost every single day. You have killed over 400 of them, injured over 1,000 of them, and you have led over 1,000 attacks since the ceasefire. I don't understand how this is okay and nothing gets done. And then when people say things about Israel, it gets labeled as anti-Semitic, or you're a bigot, or you're this, or you're that. Like, no, these are genuine questions that anyone should have that looks into the situation. You're blatantly in violation of the ceasefire, and you're facing zero consequence for that. There's literally people dying because of this, and nothing's being done. But when people are getting executed in Iran for committing crimes, we need to come to the rescue and throw the cape on, apparently.
International support force that's supposed to be going in. Again, no information on what Israel's supposed to do. Clearly trying to send a message that Hamas needs to disarm, or else. Paddy Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Tahir al-Nunu, media advisor to the head of Hamas's political bureau, told Al Jazeera the group welcomes the formation of the Administrative Committee for the Gaza Strip. He said Hamas must work with mediators and the international community to achieve calm and a return to normalcy in Gaza. He also said mediators are making great efforts to compel the occupation to implement what was agreed upon. Al-Nunu accused the Israeli army of trying to break the ceasefire agreement and added that Hamas is working with mediators to open the crossings, allow aid in and secure the withdrawal of occupation forces from the Gaza Strip. For more, let's go now to Hind Khoudaeri, who's live.
They're not trying to break the ceasefire. They have broken the ceasefire. They have never ceased to fire.
For us in Gaza City. And Hind, what has been the reaction in Gaza to that announcement of a move to phase 2?
Well, just like you said it, an announcement, a symbolic announcement to phase 2. Palestinians did not see anything on the ground. There's no change. And despite all of that, we're still hearing drones. As you can hear in the background, we also heard a couple of explosions since the early hours of the morning, where demolishings are still going on across the Gaza Strip, especially after the yellow line. But Palestinians are frustrated. They're very disappointed. They thought that phase 2 would give them the freedom of movement, that would give them reconstruction of Gaza, would also give them a little bit of what they lost. But on the ground, nothing happened, nothing changed. What we know so far is there are 15 members that have been approved on to be ruling Gaza, but there are a lot of questions and concerns. How is this going to happen? What is going to happen to the people here? The reconstruction, the Rafah crossing.
Like, bro, do you see this? Like, they're getting treated like animals. Like, what? This looks like they're feeding livestock. Like, what are they even eating, bro? Like, this is so ridiculous that we just allow things like this to happen and nobody intervenes in this. But there's American intervention all over the world for whatever their personal reasons are. You want to remove leadership of other nations that are doing far less criminal things than this. But when it comes to this, oh, we can't do anything. Our greatest ally, who we have no formal alliance with on paper, who doesn't come to our side when we need help the most, who didn't fight alongside us in the war on terror, even though it benefited them the most.
Thousands who need to get education, and also people who need to travel abroad to either get their treatment, to get to reunite with their families. So there's a lot of questions, but mainly there's a lot of frustration because there's nothing changing on the ground.
Yeah, Hind, when you talk about nothing changing, I guess I remember the reports at the time when Phase 1 started. A lot of people were hopeful that that would mean the end of the drone noise then, and yet it is still going, as you point out. Other things that may or may not have changed. The US envoy Steve Witkoff saying that during Phase 1, there was a delivery of historic, he used the word historic humanitarian aid. Can you tell us, and I guess you've already probably referred to this a bit, but what has that actually been like on the ground, the amount of aid?
Well, Anna, there's not a single day where 600 trucks of humanitarian aid entered the Gaza Strip. That is what is agreed on. 600 trucks of humanitarian aid, of basic necessities and supplies for Palestinians. We see people here on the ground where after every windstorm they lose their tents, there's no compensation, there's no more supplies to give them shelter. Most of Gaza's population are currently homeless without any shelter, and this is what they need. Now, humanitarian aid also did not get to all the people, so people do not have this access of reaching humanitarian aid, not only shelter but also food, where most of Gaza's population also still relies on humanitarian aid for the fact that they could not afford what is commercial in the Gaza Strip. And also what has been historic is Israel banning at least 37 NGOs that are serving in Gaza, that are operating in Gaza, and not give them or renewing the registration. So we're seeing limited humanitarian access, we're seeing limited humanitarian aid, and what is coming in right now is definitely not enough and definitely not historic.
Hind, thank you so much for that. That's Hind.
And notice how the women and girls wear whatever. There's women with nothing on their head. There's women with the hijab. There's women with the niqab. There's women wearing whatever they want. And they're like saying they're forced to do this or do that in Gaza, and it's just not true. It's probably one of the most aligned with American culture places. I mean, well, let's not say aligned with American culture, but aligned with being able to have certain freedoms that you're not able to have other places. People are not like just, I don't know, whatever these people are always trying to say, like, oh, you're gonna get thrown off a building or something. Like, that's just not a reality. Right now, I'm on Telegram, trying to find some stuff, man. We could look at some videos of what's actually going on. See, so this is what they were talking about, the very bad weather. This is what people are facing right now in Gaza. Living in tents, and it's downpouring like that. I'm going to turn off the sound. I don't know what he's saying. Yeah, so things like that. Here's another video. Like, I guess it's a super windy because it's the winter time down there. Well, everywhere it's the winter time, but I guess this is what they face in the winter time. Yeah, so everybody's tents are looking like they're ready to fly away. They're getting damaged. Like, how are people supposed to live like this, bro? And they're just forced to live like this. They have no other choice. They have nowhere to go, and they're literally not allowed to go anywhere, even if they wanted to go somewhere or had somewhere to go. I mean, I guess some people are, but not everybody is just allowed to move freely. It's just the reality. Not everyone can just go to Egypt or go to Jordan. Let's see, man. Over 100 children killed since the ceasefire in October. Wow, look at this. All these are Starlinks intercepted in Iran. Shipments upon shipments of Starlinks intercepted by Iran. So yeah, Elon Musk really trying to put in work, man. Trying to put in that work. Probably, I don't know, get back cool with Trump or something. Who knows? But a whole bunch of Starlinks. Like, look at this. That is, I don't know how many, but it's a lot. Probably hundreds. Israel and UAE have joined the initiative, which aims for domination of the AI industry through securing control of supply chains. Great, so UAE is also working with them to dominate in the AI realm, the AI sphere. Can't show that, but it is a dead child Funeral of 1-year-old Mohammed al-Basyouni, who died from hypothermia, took place in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza Strip. So that is sad, man. And well, I guess I could show this. Yeah, so this is a funeral for a child. And there's a video of a deceased child. And if you rewind, there is a black man there. They said black people are mistreated in Gaza and all of this stuff. And I don't know how true that is. But this is the first black person I've seen in Gaza throughout this like entire thing. Like, well, someone who's not, I've seen people that are like black, but they're mixed, but this dude is like fully black, dark-skinned male, looks African. New York shuts down pro-Israel group Batar after findings of violence and intimidation. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it like discloses that on their website or something like that. UK considers lifting arms ban on Israel, seeks to resume exports as quickly as possible. Sounds like they need some money. And this is also a photo from the Gaza Strip. Yeah, so I don't know how recent this is, but it said the whole UK thing under that picture. Okay, it's a lot of stuff on here. Study confirms Israel used white phosphorus widely across civilian areas in South Lebanon. Okay, sounds like war crimes to me. And this is an image from southern Lebanon. I mean, this is one of my Palestinian channels that I'm looking at right now, since we just really only talked about Gaza and Iran today. I'm, looking for some things on Gaza to actually show what's going on the ground. Oh, this is from that funeral that was on, I don't know if that was Al Jazeera or BBC, but yeah, this is from that funeral, which, I mean, they had government figures on the, I don't know what they would call it. It was like a hearse, but something, a carriage maybe, I don't know. But yeah, and there's all of these flags out here. People look pretty happy. It doesn't look like they're that anti-government over here. Wow. Okay. Okay, so this is the saying this is the funeral once again. Huge turnout of people, and they have a bunch of government figures on there, which I don't believe is required for a funeral in Iran. I don't think you have to get buried with the supreme leader on your hearse or carriage or anything like that, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, this is a lot of people. A lot of people turned out for this. And I would assume regardless of whether there was protests going on or not, they wouldn't be causing any disturbances here. Don't think so. Yeah, so this is just closer footage. Similar footage was on the news clip we watched, but or it might be the exact same footage, I don't know, but that was a close-up. Maybe it was mandatory. This is on state-sponsored TV. Photo of Iron Dome batteries in transit. Batteries. What? And this dude is the press. I don't know why. Like, what? Like, what are they doing? Why are they throwing all of these eggs right there? They're just like, oh man. And it says, during the raid in Jerusalem's Shuafat refugee camp as part of the so-called Capital Shield operation, Israeli forces confiscated Palestinian goods and vehicles and arrested 13 people. It says the assault also resulted in Israeli occupation forces destroying 13,260 eggs. Despite residents paying taxes, the refugee camp continues to be systematically denied basic municipal services. 13,000 eggs, bro. That is crazy. Like, what? Why are they doing this, man? They just do all of these unnecessary things just because. Like, what? Why are you destroying people's eggs, bro? People who you also tax, like they're saying they pay taxes, like you're taxing these people on top of terrorizing them. Great. What wonderful people you are. Where is this? I have no idea where this is. But, I mean, we could show it anyways. It's obviously Israeli aggression. It's not going to be anyone else. So, yeah, they did this to somewhere, to someone. Don't know what country or what group, but, yeah. I know, right? Oh, they got Hebrew and Arabic. US and UK warn against travel to Israel as Iran tensions continue. And this is from yesterday, all of this stuff. Or have we crossed into today? Oh yeah. Now we're into today. Palestine submits 14 heritage sites to UNESCO to block Israeli appropriation and cultural erasure. Hopefully they get those approved, man. USS Abraham Lincoln again. We already went over that. Saudi Arabia unveils $500 million development push in southern Yemen after UAE exit. Wow. So Saudi is looking to rebuild Yemen after these conflicts. At least they didn't go into like all-out civil war. That's good news. Oh man. I don't think I can show this on YouTube. There's blood. But it says a young Palestinian man was shot by Israeli forces and arrested in Dura, south of Hebron. And there is like blood all over the stairs and just a sneaker there. So I guess they shot him and took him away, which I mean, I have no idea. Like, I don't get why they are always doing this to people who are unarmed and not a danger to anyone. Like, and they just get away with it and nobody says anything about that. Like, how are you just shooting unarmed civilians and getting away with it with no consequence or word from anyone, especially the world's police, the moral authority. We care so much about violent rioters breaking the law and getting the consequences that they may or may not deserve from their country they're rebelling against, but people that are just innocent civilians getting shot and arrested, we do nothing about. This is a drone strike in Lebanon. So it doesn't have any more information, just the location. It doesn't say against who or why. Yeah, it just says targets one of the threatened locations in Somor in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley. So, I'm not sure. And I can't really show this without exposing all of these channels. Don't think that is YouTube friendly. Show this. Drone strikes, so it's more than one. Okay, man, damn. Yes, you saw that one land.
هذه غارة وهي الثانية. هي أول غارة وهي غارة. الله أكبر. شو ها؟ عم يطرش الشظاير.
I don't know what he said, YouTube. I have no idea what was being said, It's not my views. I don't agree with anything. I have nothing to say about what was said on there. I don't know what was said. I'm just commentating, reacting to what's going on, man. Oh, man. Yeah, so even more stuff going on in Lebanon. I'll turn the volume off for this. Don't want to rub anyone the wrong way. I don't know what's being said. Man. So yeah, this is the same area in Lebanon. Just getting hit all day long. So I don't know, they're probably gonna say it's Hezbollah or Hamas targets, but you know, as we saw from the photo earlier, they were saying that there's evidence that they are using white phosphorus in civilian areas, and I mean, they obviously bomb in civilian areas and then say that their targets are located there. Oh my God. That's it for that channel. Oh, we could check in with Iran really quick. So that's from the funeral from yesterday. Let's see about today. Confessions of rioters. They got them on TV, face blurred, prison jumpsuit on. This is massive march of Indian Shiites in support of Iran. So I guess this is a bunch of Shia Muslims in India that support the Iranians. Okay, so I'm just gonna show this. I mean, this girl has a giant sword in her hand. She's one of the protesters in Iran, and they were just saying like, yeah, innocent people, like in America, if you had that and you approached the National Guard, ICE, or the police, or anyone with a badge and gun, you're likely going to get shot. I mean, that's just the reality. It's probably going to happen anywhere. Okay, let's not play that. But yeah, this is video from the attack on the mosque. Yeah, these are obviously not Muslims. Don't think they're Iranians, because I mean, if they're Iranians, they're not Muslims, obviously, because I don't think any Muslim would do this. Like, for a Muslim to do this, you had to be on drugs or something. No Muslim would do this, bro. It's just, yeah, I don't know what's going on, where they think they could just manipulate everyone and be like, yeah, look at the people, look at what they're doing. Like, I don't think that's the people. Maybe we'll go into this tomorrow about the Crown Prince of Iran. See what he keeps talking about, man. Just kind of ignore it, but yeah, we'll react to that tomorrow. No protests, apparently. No more protests in Iran as of today. Well, we saw that funeral and all the people that were there. Another ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to go into that tomorrow. I mean, I might go into that right now really quick, honestly. Few minutes ago, and what is this? This is from last night, though. Following an armed clash between security forces and armed groups, heavy gunfire occurred in the Al-Saab area of Baghdad, causing widespread fear and panic among the pilgrims of the Imam Kazim Shrine. Peace be upon him and the residents. Okay, so I guess there's some type of conflict going on in Baghdad. Okay, yeah, I gotta go look at this video of this new shooting. Snowfall in Tehran. Okay, yeah, they're showing a bunch of stuff about Baghdad in here now, man. I don't know what this is about. Something broke out in Baghdad last night and this morning. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I guess they were going crazy in Baghdad. All right, let's see. Another shooting in Minneapolis.
The president's words, they come after another night of protests in Minneapolis following a second ICE-related shooting. The Department of Homeland Security calling it self-defense as they say it happened during a struggle.
Well, Fox 9's Karen Scullin joining us live from the Hawthorne neighborhood of North Minneapolis with what we know so far. So, Karen, if you can just walk us through what happened.
Right, so this started off, according to DHS, it started off as a targeted operation by ICE agents trying to pull over a man by the name of Julio Sosa Solis. He apparently did not pull over as part of a traffic stop, continued on, agents followed. Eventually, Sosa Solis crashed his car, and the agent then was chasing him on foot. There was some sort of a struggle. They fell to the ground. And then during this struggle where the agent was on the ground, two people in a nearby apartment came out and started hitting the agent with a snow shovel and a broom.
See, this is the problem here. Everybody wants to be a hero. All these people want to be anti-ICE and think they're above the law. They can do whatever they want. Why are you attacking someone who has a gun and is legally authorized to use their gun to protect themselves and other people? I mean, anyone that owns a gun is authorized to do that, but this is a law enforcement officer. Why are you attacking law enforcement and you don't even have anything that's a formidable weapon to attack them with? You're hitting them with sticks? Like what are you doing? He has a gun on his waist. Like what do you think he's gonna do with that when you're threatening his life? There is two people attacking. He's already struggling with the suspect, so that's three people attacking. And you think he's just gonna not use the weapon he has, that he's trained to use, that he's been told to use if he's in a situation exactly like this? Like, come on, man.
Broomsticks. Sosa Solis also joining in this apparent attack on this agent. The agent then firing a shot, self-defense shot, I'm told, and hitting the leg of Sosa Solis. Those three then ran into a nearby home. And Karen, many people may be asking about video at this point. There was a video shot from inside the home where the three ran into, right? Right. State Senator Aaron May Quaid posted a video on Instagram that appears to be shot inside the home where the three ran into. Video on Instagram that appears to be... Right. State Senator Aaron May Quaid posted a video on Instagram.
I have no idea what she said. Like, is there...
That appears to be shot in...
Oh, Aaron McQuaid. Okay. Okay.
Inside the home where the three ran into. It's a little unclear what exactly is going on. There appears to be a woman and small children inside the home. They are on the phone with 911 calling for help, saying that someone has been shot, saying that agents were trying to get into the home. It is really unclear, though, what was happening.
Bro,
if the agents...
People are deranged. You just attacked a federal agent and ran inside a home. They are obviously going to try and get inside the home because you all just committed a crime. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to label it as a felony. So you all just committed a felony and you fled, into a home. They saw what home it was. They have the legal right to go kick down that door and go apprehend you. And then you're calling the police to get an ambulance? Do you think they're gonna save you? Like what? Then when you go to the hospital, you're going to be in handcuffs at the hospital. When first responders get to that scene, which I mean, there's already people on the scene, but when paramedics or whoever get on the scene and you need to open your door, guess who's coming inside? The police and the federal agents that you just had a scuffle with. And then guess what's happening to you? Jail time.
In the home where shots fired. We just don't know at that point what happened. We did reach out, of course, to DHS for some clarity. Did not hear back on those specific questions. Simone?
And also, Karen, 3 people were arrested last night. So what do we know about all of them?
Right. So the targeted suspect in this Julio Suso Solis, he was being targeted. He had come into the country illegally, according to DHS, in 2022. He had given officers a false name a couple of times. He was driving without a license. So they were targeting him. But the other 2 were also Venezuelan nationals who entered the country illegally in 2023. One of them did have a final deportation order. The other one really didn't seem to have much in his background, except for the fact.
So these idiots that are trying to help this man are illegal immigrants, and they thought it was a good idea to try and attack an ICE agent, and one of them already has a deportation order. Like, what, bro? What is this?
That he came into the country illegally. We're told that all 3 are now in custody. Both the suspect that was shot and then also the agent remain in the hospital today, I'm told. And also, at this point, BCA is the one investigating this case, the Minnesota BCA investigating this case. I touched base with them today. They still say that they are in charge of investigating this shooting. It has not gone off to the feds, at least as of now.
Okay.
Guys, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Karen Scullin, live tonight in the Hawthorne neighborhood of Minneapolis.
Oh my God, bro. That is insane.
En la pierna. Por favor, ayúdenos, tenemos hijos. Asómalo por la ventana.
¿Y si disparan?
Asómalo así, nada más por fuera. Los del aire, son los del aire.
Bro, what? They were pursuing my husband for half an hour. They were trying to hit him, and he arrived to the house, and because we closed the door on them, they shot him. What? Bro, number 1, I highly doubt that happened. Number 2, if they were pursuing him for over half an hour, your husband was evading law enforcement for half an hour. Like, what do you think this is? When someone's trying to pull you over, you're supposed to stop. And in certain states, in certain instances, the law enforcement officers or agents can use their vehicle to try and hit yours to make you not able to continue to move forward and cause a danger in the community. There's plenty of videos that we've all seen of police officers tapping people's bumper or hitting into the side of their car, and nobody cares when it's on cops. Nobody cares when it's on TV. But then when it's stuff like this and it's getting filmed on Instagram, oh, they were harassing him or chasing him. Like, what? You're supposed to stop. What? What do you mean? You have to stop when they try and pull you over. And then it says multiple times he's given a false name. He doesn't have a driver's license. He's clearly operating the vehicle illegally. So that's why he didn't want to stop. Like, and I highly doubt that you were shot because you tried to close your door.
y venían persiguiendo a mi marido hace como media hora, lo estaban tratando de chocar. Y llegó a la casa y como le cerramos la puerta, le dispararon.
They were following my husband and they hit his vehicle and we closed the door on them and they shot.
Marica, me da miedo, asomarme la ventana.
No, te voy a decir algo. Si no hubiese visto nieve, nunca me hubiesen agarrado. Ni que quiera. No hubiese pasado nada.
Y el carro...
Where the people shot him.
So this shit is just all in Spanish, and I don't have time for that. That's annoying. Very annoying. Let's see this. That other video said 1 hurt in shooting.
You live from the American Sign Museum here in Cincinnati. More on that in a moment, but we have to begin in Minneapolis. For the second time in a week, an ICE agent shot someone last night, deepening the public fear and anger there, and once again sending protesters into the streets overnight.
Is that protesting? Like, what are you doing? You're setting off fireworks on the ground. It's hitting a bunch of people. Like, this is dangerous. This is like, come on, man.
Now, with thousands of federal agents already on the ground, President Trump is threatening to send in U.S.
things on fire, throwing it. That is rioting behavior. You are pushing the lines to create a riot.
Troops to protect them if local politicians don't obey the law, as he put it. Chief correspondent Matt Gutman is.
What? Are they outside with paintball guns?
The law, as he put it. Chief correspondent.
They're outside with paintball guns. What a fun day to be one of these guys. Yeah, we got paintball guns. We're lighting up everyone in the crowd. Everyone's getting shot. Spray the whole crowd. These are non-lethal paintballs.
Matt Gutman is there and leads us off tonight. Matt, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. There's been essentially continuous tension here since that agent-involved shooting last night. A lot of folks in Minneapolis are wondering what a U.S. military presence would look like here, because after all, there are already about 3,000 federal agents here on the ground, a force that is about 5 times larger than the entire Minneapolis Police Department. We are seeing these federal officers begin to move in on this crowd. In Minneapolis this evening, tensions are soaring. Protesters facing off against federal agents. You get a sense of how many federal troops are out here. And just moments later.
Oh, yo, they did them filthy. Straight up all type of paintball guns and pepper sprays and whatever else they got. Just straight up the whole bunch of non-lethals on them.
They deployed a bunch of chemical agents on this crowd. It is unrest set off by a second ICE agent-involved shooting last night. A Venezuelan migrant was shot after allegedly trying to flee federal officers. He and 2 others were arrested, but the incident ignited the fiercest clashes since the federal government deployed about 3,000 federal immigration agents here. And this video appears to show vandals breaking into a federal official's car and carting off this crate, then spray painting the car. The protests and vandalism prompted that threat from President Trump today to invoke the Insurrection Act if Minnesota politicians don't, quote, obey the law and stop the professional agitators and...
This is literally rioting behavior. This is not a protest. That was not protesting what we just saw. And then, oh, I will institute the Insurrection Act. Well, what happens when you do that and then people respond violently? It's not going to end well for them, is it? Sounds kind of like what's going on in Iran. But I guess we are just the moral authority and can do whatever we want.
Insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE.
That would probably lead to more violence.
And tonight there are 2 versions emerging of that shooting. Cell phone footage shared on social media by a state senator appears to show the moments after last night's shooting. A woman called 911 and can be heard pleading for help. The caller says her husband was chased by ICE agents before he reached his home and was shot in front of his family. But according to DHS, Julio Cesar Sosa Solis fled from federal officers, crashed into a parked car, then resisted arrest. 2 other men then came out.
She's admitting he fled because she's saying he was chased by them. Like, what If you're being chased by the federal law enforcement, that means you're fleeing from them.
Of a nearby apartment and allegedly attacked the officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. Fearing for his life, DHS says the ICE agent fired a defensive shot, hitting Sosa Solis in the leg. And just a short time ago, Tony,
And yeah, like what do you think? Like I don't buy the story of, oh yeah, they just shot him because he made it in the house. Like, two different people that have nothing to do with you are arrested. Why are they arresting two other men for? Like, if it was just you and you were the problem, how is the story just all made up? And he likely has a body cam on. If he doesn't, his car has a camera that's recording. So regardless, there's footage of this. Whether it comes out or not, there's footage of this. If there was footage of him doing anything wrong, he would be getting reprimanded for it.
And just a short time ago, Tony, the FBI putting out a flyer offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of stolen government property from that vehicle that we saw vandalized in that vehicle. That, as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has been pleading with the president, but also the protesters, to tone down the temperature. Tony.
AI can...
Bro, wasn't there a license plate on the car that took the stuff? Like, what? And even if there wasn't a license plate, I mean, like, you have the description of the car. Yeah, like, this is crazy, bro. What are they doing out here? Bro. The only reason they're not shooting is because they don't have a clear shot. Like, I guarantee you, if they had a clear shot at whoever's throwing fireworks at them, they would be getting shot. Like, what? This is dangerous and ridiculous. Like, what is going on here? Don't understand why so many people think this is just okay and funny or fun, or they could do whatever they want. And then they complain when this happens. Oh, they're evil. They use chemical weapons against us. They pepper sprayed us. They tear gassed us. Oh my God, they're so evil. They tear gassed us and pepper sprayed us. Yeah, like, you idiots are throwing fucking fireworks at the police, at the law enforcement agents. What is going on? What the fuck is this? Oh, they're just putting yellow tape back up. Okay. I think there was another video. Retarded. Like, look at what they did to this car, bro. And it might not even be a ICE agent's car. Like, people do this every time. Every time there's these protests, it seems there's a bunch of cars getting destroyed and set on fire. This one didn't get set on fire this time, but there's always cars getting destroyed. Why? Why? It will be some random person's car just getting destroyed. Terrible.
Damn, they fucked this car up. You got a flashlight on here.
Yeah, they fucked this car up.
alright. Shit, I could use a souvenir.
This looks like a regular person's car, bro. Like,
FBI bag. Dude, that's some drip.
okay, I guess it's not a regular person's car. I was about to say, if he takes that shit, they catch him with it, he's definitely going to jail. FBI first aid kit. Bunch of people blowing whistles like idiots. Yeah, so that's it on Telegram, I guess. That's gonna be it for this live, man. Tomorrow, probably have a more structured live. Wanna be able to click on the things easier, so I guess I'll load up a bunch of things on the computer instead of having them on my phone and then looking into it or searching it or whatever else. It'll be easier that way and it'll be a smoother stream. But yeah, man, that's it for this one. Kumo DTV everywhere. Go follow KumoCast on YouTube. Go like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff, man. I'm out of here.